Greetings, it's IT2 again. Don't you look at me when I'm making videos. I'm actually making all these book review videos on the same day, so it seems like the new stuff. I'm wearing the same shirt, and my dog keeps peeking at me through the door. Anyway, today, which I'm assuming is Tuesday now, by the time I got all these scheduled, I'm going to be reviewing a book, another Stephen King book, The Institute. I was wondering about this book. I feel like I spilled something on it. It feels sticky. It's a nice, well, it's one of those paperbacks I like. It's this size of paperback, like The Outsider was, and the Mr. Mercedes and all those. This is a really good book. It feels like it's sequel to The Shining and Doctor Sleep, and maybe The Firestarter, but I haven't read The Firestarter, but I assume those are all about like psychic telekinetic abilities. And The Firestarter was about a girl who could set things on fire with her mind, right? And also, like Stranger Things, it's kind of like related to like that girl that had psychic abilities. About kids that can do powerful psychic shit, right? So, this one's about a boy. What the fuck is his name? It's been a while since I read this. I mean, it starts out really good. I like the beginning of it. And then he takes a few turns that I would not have done. There's this guy. The chapter starts out about this cop in a town in like North Carolina or somewhere. He's like moving up from Florida. He's driving up south. He gets a job as a night knocker, going around like checking doors or something at nighttime. Has nothing to do with the story until the very end. So it's like he sets you up with this cop character, and then he doesn't appear until like the end. It's weird. So I think Luke is this kid's name. He's the smart kid. So he's got like a photographic memory or something, like he can remember everything. He reads a lot of books really fast, and he's what, like 6 or 8 years old or something, and he's like already applied to 2 colleges, and he's gonna like get 2 degrees at the same time. He's that smart, he's like a genius kid. And because of that, he can pretty much figure his way out of any situation. Like he can outsmart adults, and he just knows things because he's just read so much like books and stuff. And it's almost like he has a superpower. He's that fucking smart. But Stephen King does not take advantage of that hardly at all. Like you could make him do a lot of cool shit, but he doesn't do it for some reason. He still just looks like a 6 or 8 year old kid. Kind of like Ender's Game, because that was a little kid too. So these ninjas, these like people dressed in black, show up and they kill his parents. They blame it on him, and they kidnap him, and they take him to like, guess where? Maine, because it's a Stephen King book. There's a place in Maine in the woods that this institute has all these kids with latent psychic abilities, different kinds. You got your psychokinetics that can move things with their mind. You got your telekinetics that can... Wait, is that moving things with your mind? What's psychokinetics? PKAs, and you got your TKAs, and you got your mind readers. What's the other one? Predicting the future? ESP? I don't know if that's actually a thing in this one. Maybe it is. So, like, there's all these kids there, and they're different ages, and like the institute kind of uses them as batteries. Like they don't care about them at all. They got these people that are hired to make sure the kids don't escape and keep them fed and to keep them from going crazy and they try to like ask them questions, and they kind of figure out how extent their abilities are and how they can utilize them and stuff. And you kind of figure out as the book goes along that what they're doing is they're using some kind of statistical analysis to figure out like which people in the world could cause the end of the world, and they're assassinating those people using these kids. So you got a front half and a back half of the institute. The front half is where you first go, and they're just kind of evaluating you, and there's a playground, a cafeteria, And like I said, they don't care about these kids, so the kids can like drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes and whatever they want to do, pretty much, just to keep them happy, so they don't freak out and try to escape or anything. And they, I think, like, the smart kid, Luke, he figures out that they killed his parents. Like most of the other kids, I don't think they knew that they were killing their parents. Like, they still had some kind of hope that they were going to escape. So they weren't that intent on escaping as hard. But Luke was smart enough to figure that out because he hacked into the internet and he got online and he found their obituaries and saw that he was being blamed for it and stuff. Pretty cool. He could have done more stuff like that using his smarts, but he didn't for some reason. So the back half is where they didn't really go into the back half that much, but it's like this place that they talk about, like you get taken to the back half and they separate the kids that you finally got friends, and you kind of getting comfortable in the front half, and then they take you to the back half, and then it's like, we just lost another one to the back half, So in the back half, they kind of make you watch the videos. They watch this like movie, and the movie is like all these images of like the guy that they're figuring out who they're going to assassinate. And when they get all these kids together, they kind of have this hum, and then like their power focuses and it gets stronger and stuff, and they can figure out, like, I think they can actually just assassinate people with those kids. Like, they figure out this guy, he's going to do something with a guy that knows another guy that's in a dealing with the president, and he could cause the president to like launch all the nukes or something. So like down the road, like 9 years from now, maybe they could have nuclear war. But if we take this guy out of the equation, that there's no chance of that happening that way. So they assume it's going to be better for humanity if we just like nuke that guy. If we just kill him with our kids. They focus their mental energy and they just make him have an aneurysm or something and die, or a heart attack. I don't know how it works, but they mentally assassinate people with these kids. So in the back half, there's another room where they take the kids. Like once they assassinate so many people, they're like so psychically used up that they just go kind of crazy. They become like a zombie. They just start to like wander around, and they all do like weird stuff, and they're just like, they all like hum or they like gibber, or just like they're zombies. And they call that the Gork room or something. They call them Gorks because they're kind of like, what does the word Gork mean? It's like retarded people or something. It's like they're just gorked out of their mind. So they're all in there like wandering around, and those guys are like the batteries that actually like fuel the other psychic kids, because they still have all their psychic energy, but they're like unfocused. It's just kind of kept in this room or something. But they're all still together, and then once the smart kid figures out that when they all get together they're stronger, he kind of tells them that, and they figure out how to like take over the institute, and they start like, he breaks out. Actually, he sneaks out first, and he figures out a way to get out through the fence. Like he digs a hole and he makes it look like it's not a hole. I forgot exactly how it was, but he like takes this boat down the river and he gets on a train. That's what the cover is. She's like on this train. I don't know why there's a room in the back of the train, but he like sneaks down, and like this institute is so connected. They have all these cops in all these cities that they know, and they like have agents. So they pretty much find him real fast, even though he's like changing trains and changing towns and all this stuff. He ends up in that town with that cop. And then he tells that cop, he has like this USB drive, like a flash drive, that's got video of that Gork room of those crazy kids. And he's like got proof that they're like keeping all these kids, like kidnapping them and like got them in this like dungeon or whatever. So the cop ends up saving them at the end, I think. This would be a really good movie. I don't know why it's not a movie. But yeah, I feel like the smart kid could have done way more smart things. He didn't do that much smart stuff. They started out really good. They made him like really seem like a really smart kid, but he ended up like just not able to do any stuff because he was in prison the whole time. But still a good story. The characters were good. The different kids, I think there was some other stuff at the end there. I can't really remember, but pretty dope book. I highly recommend The Institute with Stephen King. Yeah. Doesn't really relate to the Dark Tower, I don't think, at all. I'm trying to think, like, if it's the same thing. If the kids, the psychic ability they have is The Shining, or wasn't there something in The Stand that somebody was a little psychic? I mean, Mother Abigail, I guess, was kind of psychic. She's not the one making them have all the dreams, but it was kind of like that. And you got, like, Dr. Sleep, those guys, those carnies that had the psychic ability. They were, like, sucking people's psychic ability out. Like, if that's in the same universe as this book, that'd be kind of cool. Like, they could combine the institutes. There's more than one institute, by the way. There's other ones all over the world. There's, like, several of them. So you could have those guys from Dr. Sleep meet up with these guys, or, like, be involved somehow in another book. But, actually, I was doing a Wikipedia search on Stephen King earlier, and Holly Gibney from Mr. Mercedes and The Outsider, his next book, I think, that's to be announced, is a Holly Gibney story about Holly Gibney in 2021 with coronavirus. And the character, the woman that plays Holly Gibney in the TV show Mr. Mercedes, is in that show Succession that I just watched all 3 seasons of because it's fucking amazing. She's one of my favorite actresses now, I guess. But she's not like a main character or anything. Highly recommend Succession if you haven't seen that on HBO Max. Anyway, it's been D2 with another book review.